Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Bisi, Oyedele, and I'm the CEO of Education for DC, which is a local grant-making organization here focused on advancing educational equity for students furthest from opportunity here in the district. For those of you who don't know, one of our main goals as an organization is to see the proportion of high quality and high equity schools double by 2026. We believe that every student can achieve, especially in math, which is why we're here today. In our conversations with school leaders that we support, many frequently name supporting students' academic recovery and achievement in math as a top concern. We see this in the data as well. While citywide PARC data shows an improvement overall from school year 21 to 22, school year 22 to 23, students' math scores have not bounced back as quickly as those in ELA. We are extremely excited today to support the Math Summit, the DC Math Hub, and the recent report it released containing strategies that contribute to a strong growth of achievement for math students. Together, we believe that these initiatives set DC up to serve as an exemplar for outstanding math achievement, given the opportunities that we have available to learn across sectors and schools, particularly today as we learn more about the Bright Spot schools, which are doing the extraordinary work of helping our students become math people. I know we have a packed and exciting agenda for you all today. We'll dive into what the national and local research tells us about math programs, then examine the Bright Spot schools that are leading the way for our students. After our morning sessions, we're pleased to be joined by Dr. Lou Matthews for the afternoon keynote address. Then the afternoon gets into the nitty-gritty, with educator-led professional development sessions focused on research-based practices that can equip teachers to support their students on the way to becoming math masters. Before we get to it, I want to thank the DC Math Hub for the spearheading this initiative, especially the DC Math Summit partners that have put today's event together: Empower K-12, DC International School, Center City Public Charter School, Friendship Public Charter Schools, DCPS and their Global Studies Program, the Deputy Mayor of Education's Office, OSSI, and all the speakers and presenters that are making today possible. And with all of this, I will now turn it over to my friend Pat Brantley, the CEO of Friendship Public Charter Schools, to share more of her thoughts and more about the DC Math Hub.
Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. My name is Pat Brantley, and I'm a 30-year resident of the District of Columbia. I started in the city working in civil and women's rights. Core to that work is a deep understanding that education is the path to equal rights, progress, and prosperity for all people. It has been my privilege in my current role at Friendship to be responsible for 15 public charter school campuses, 1,000 educators, and 5,000 children in this city. So I've been around for some time. I was here over the years when NAEP, the nation's report card, declared DC as the fastest growing urban center in reading and math achievement in the country. Like many of you in this room, the pandemic rocked us and the families we serve. When people talk about learning loss, they are most often referring to standardized test scores. But when you work in schools day to day, learning loss hits a bit different. I remember coming back to school in person and seeing students who hadn't developed the motor skills to hold a pencil or write their own name. I remember watching teachers bend down to tie the shoes of students that were much older than you would ever expect. I saw children in upper grades struggling with phonics and decoding, children without any number sense. It was hard to see true learning loss, and I don't have to tell you in this room much more about that because you were there too. I want to talk about the birth of an idea. As last school year wrapped up, it started to feel better. There seemed to be a light at the end of the tunnel. When our PARC scores came out, our students had returned to pre-pandemic learning levels in reading with about 3 times the city's average for reading improvement. But math. Well, math was nothing like reading. Yes, it improved, but it was going to be a slow climb. I remember seeing the faces of Friendship math educators, the disappointment, the frustration, the false sense that they weren't doing as much as our reading educators. Nothing could be farther from the truth. In this city, we have some of the finest educators of math, bar none. I have seen how hard our math educators work. I couldn't understand it, frankly. We had purchased the high-quality curricular materials. We brought in the professional development. We had the coaching and every single thing that you can imagine. I was exhausted looking internally for answers, and so I decided to phone a friend. I called on Russ Williams at Center City to ask, what are you doing and seeing in math? Between Russ and I, we called on schools across the city and realized there were no common answers, no science of math like there is a science of reading, and so an idea was born. We needed a citywide summit on math. We needed to gather our best minds, our most dedicated educators, our researchers, our government representatives, our university partners, our philanthropists and foundations. We needed to come together to strategize, to reflect, to plan, to make big bets, and to elevate math. I'm grateful that as this idea was born, Deputy Mayor of Education, Paul Kine, was the first to step up and make a commitment to seeing the citywide math summit come to fruition. He lent the full power of his office and his staff to make it possible. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. He had just one ask: elevate teacher voice. And I hope as you go throughout the day, you will hear and see and know the voices of our teachers. Side by side with Deputy Mayor Kine's office was Josh Boots and Empower K-12 that actually did the hard work and the many tasks to get us to today, along with DME Kine's staff, OSSI, DCPS, Urban Institute, and numerous charters. What I know is this: where one of us doesn't have an answer, we collectively can create one. We can make DC the center for math in this country, but it will take all of us. And so from a simple idea, we come together for something far greater, ensuring the District of Columbia retains its place as the fastest growing urban center on math achievement, and, inspired by the well-established science of reading approach, becomes the math hub of the nation, integrating the latest educational research with classroom practices to unlock the full potential of all students in math. As this city has done for the science of reading, we need council legislation for math improvement. We need OSSI grants and training for all educators. We need State Board of Education to champion policies to elevate math. We need foundations and philanthropists to create math innovation funds. We need our universities to develop more pathways for math educators. We need everyone from whatever seat they sit in to consider how they elevate, resource, and prioritize math. If you are in this room, you are part of the solution. We thank you for taking a small idea to a greater possibility of significant and sustained math achievement for all District of Columbia public school children. First DC, then the nation. Thank you.